guys are going to love this variation of the square knot. My name is Nicole and welcome back to Knot Macrame. Here's where you will find everything DIY macrame, from tips and tricks, best practices, and a ton of pattern tutorials. So if you guys are interested in nodding along with me, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay tuned for more tutorials, and then also make sure you follow me on Instagram for more IG tutorials. I am back today with a coaster pattern. A few months ago I released one with square knot as well, actually using the same square knot pattern. So it's a slight variation of the regular square knot, but the difference was that we incorporated color cords within that pattern, so it looked different and more unique with the color cords. Today we're going to use one color cord to make the entire coaster pattern, but we will be incorporating these alternating S-shaped square knots to make the pattern. We will be forming a diamond design with the 3 basic knots of macrame, and if you guys don't already know what those are, that's the Lark's head knot, the double half hitch knot, and the square knot. The square knot variation that we will be using today is just a regular square knot plus another half knot. Once you have made the square knot plus a half knot, you'll see a small little S-shaped pattern form, and what we're going to do is just repeat those alternating S-shaped square knots throughout to form the diamond pattern to make the coaster. This is definitely a beginner-friendly project that you can do with family or friends, and also doesn't take too much time to make it on your own. So if you're looking to make these to gift to a friend or a loved one, then you can definitely do that. I made a set of these to give as a gift to a friend for a housewarming gift, and it definitely didn't take too long to make. I think making 4 coasters only took me about a half an hour to 45 minutes. So if you guys are interested in making these, then make sure you watch through the entire 10-minute video to see how it is done. And without further ado, let's get started.
If you guys have watched any of my other tutorials, you will know that I always start with the list of materials and cord lengths that you will need before we start on the pattern. So I will be using 3mm cotton cord for this pattern, and you'll also need a stick to make the pattern from. The cord I will be using for this tutorial is a 3mm 3-ply cotton cord, and this is in the color Mocha. 3-ply is great for giving projects that extra textured look. This cord is nice and sturdy, making it really easy to macrame with. And then you'll also need a wooden dowel or stick of some sort so that you can make the pattern from. We will be taking the dowel out of the pattern at the end and just leaving the macrame by itself. So really the wooden dowel is just used as a tool to make this coaster pattern. To begin, we will take one strand of cord at 110 centimeters long, folded in half, and attach it onto the dowel using a Lark's head knot. Take the loop end to the back of the dowel from the top, and then take the cord ends and pull it through the loop at the front, and then pull on the ends to tighten the knot. Then repeat 9 more times beside the Lark's head knot with the remaining 9 cords. We're going to have a total of 10 Lark's head knots on the dowel. Once the Lark's head knots have been attached, we can now start on the square knot pattern. To do this, we're going to start about an inch down from the top of the middle section. So with the middle 4 cords, we're going to make a square knot about 1 inch to 1.5 inches downwards from the top. A square knot is made with 2 opposite half knots like so, but what we're going to do is add 1 more half knot the opposite direction, just to change up this pattern slightly. And as you can see, it kind of forms an S-shaped design. This is the S-shaped square knot design that we will be using for the entirety of this pattern. So taking the left 2 cords and then the 2 cords next to it, adjacent to it, we're going to make an alternating S-shaped square knot. Then do the same thing on the right side, mirroring the left. What we're going to do is make an upside down V-shaped square knot pattern. So we're going to continue this diagonally on both sides, all the way to the left and all the way to the right. And then once you're done, you should get an upside down V. Once your upside down V with the S-shaped square knot patterns are complete, we will now fill in the middle sections with more S-shaped square knots. Take the middle 4 cords and we're going to make another S-shaped square knot. So make a square knot as usual and then add another half knot in the opposite direction after that again. Continue going downwards and filling up the sections with more of these S-shaped square knots. Now underneath, we're going to go in the opposite direction with one less square knot per row as we get to one last square knot at the bottom row. So here we're going to have a row of 4 square knots. Add a row of 3 square knots underneath, then 2, and then finish off with 1. Once the diamond-shaped pattern has been completed, we're almost done with the knot part of it. Take your longest cord from the fringe and we're going to cut off some of the excess fringe on both sides. So as you can see, the second cord from the left and from the right are my longest cords. So I've cut off a section at the end. Leave about 3 inches of space underneath the fringe and then cut off the rest. Then taking that excess strand of cord, we're going to place it at the bottom in a V-shaped pattern, and we're going to use this as an anchor cord for a row of double half hitch knots on both sides. Starting with a strand of vertical cord, make a double half hitch knot onto the anchor cord and then continue all the way up to the right side and then back on the left side as well. So once the double half hitch knots have been completed at the bottom, the time has come now to remove the dowel from the macrame. And this is where we're going to use a pair of scissors and we're going to cut the loops at the top to turn them into fringe. And then this part is where you're going to take that second cord that we had cut at the bottom and use it as an anchor cord to make that V-shaped double half hitch knot pattern on this other side. Here you can see that I've made the double half hitch knot row on the other side, and the very last step now is to take those anchor cords on both sides and we're going to make one last double half hitch knot to connect them together. And we are now complete with this coaster pattern. All that is remaining and left to do is to trim the fringe and then comb through the fringe if you want it to be nice and fluffy, or you can just leave the fringe as is if you'd like.
I really hope you guys enjoyed making this diamond coaster pattern today. This is a beginner-friendly pattern. If you guys are a beginner in macrame, this project is a great one to do as your first or second project. But once you're done this one and you want to learn some other new knots, I would recommend our macrame starter kit. That goes over the 6 basic knots of macrame in a small wall hanging project. So that includes the 3 basic knots that we had learned today, plus 3 additional ones that are vital in making macrame designs. So if you guys are interested in this, I'll link that in the video description below. If instead you are wanting to expand your macrame skill set to the intermediate and advanced levels, we do specifically help our Bochi Knot Macrame community on Patreon target specific topics like how to create your own macrame designs and also some advanced knotting techniques. So if you guys want to learn more about that, then visit patreon.com/bochiknot. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys had fun with this project. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.